Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative2xmom, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips for a bad homeschool day. Now if you're new to my channel, my name is Lee and we've been homeschooling for 7 years. This channel is all about homeschooling, motherhood, and thriving in the day-to-day. This video is going to be 5 tips for the bad homeschool day because yes, you will have them. Even after 7 years, you would think I've got this thing figured out. We still have rough days. We're still human around here. Now this video is being hosted by myself, as well as April at The Simple Rugged Path and Marie at Crazy Busy Fit Mom. I'm going to link both of their channels down below, as well as the playlist. I am looking forward to everybody else's tips for a bad homeschool day because yes, they do pop up every once in a while. And this is particularly the season for us. This is the time of year that I usually have to mix things up a little bit because as we are going into the winter months, after the holidays, we tend to have a few grouchy days here and there. So I'm looking forward to that playlist to find out how everybody else handles their bad homeschool days. Now, as for my 5 tips, let's get started. The first tip is to get outside of your house. Take a walk. Go somewhere, go to the park, go on a trail, take a hike, get out of your house. I know sometimes we sit around our homes because we are homeschooling and we just get tired of the same space. We get tired of the same 4 walls around us. And even in the winter, I feel like this can really apply. Even if you've got snow, lace up on those snow boots, get a jacket on, just get outside. Feel the sun on your face, breathe in some fresh air. There's still so much you can discover. If you want to go do a nature study in winter and you have the ability to do that, what a great idea. Study the same tree throughout the seasons. There's still so much life in nature, even in this time of things resting and pulling in. I still feel like there's a lot that we can observe in nature. And if you're in a nicer area like we are, that makes it a little bit easier. But even if you're out where the snow is, I still feel like this is a great chance to just get out of the house. Even if you're just going for a walk down your street, or you're walking to grandma's house, or you're walking to the park, what a nice break from the day-to-day routine. Tip number 2. Go on a field trip. This doesn't have to be something extravagant. I feel like most of the time when people hear field trips, they're thinking, I can't do that on spur of the moment. It has to be planned ahead. Not necessarily. Many of us have passes to a children's museum or passes to a zoo or a nature preserve nearby that runs. A lot of these nature preserves will run programs all throughout the year. So have some idea of kind of what's in your area. I think most of us homeschool moms do. We have a pretty good idea of the educational opportunities around us. It can be something spur of the moment like that. When I see that we're having a really rough day, in the back of my mind, I usually know what exhibits are going on at our children's museum, and we'll just pack up and we'll get out of the house. Do something a little bit different. I know that right now there is a Simple Machines exhibit going on at our local museum, and I know the kids would love it. So I have been waiting for one of those days when I just need something to kind of break us out of routine, and that's going to be something that we're definitely going to be checking out. So in the back of your mind, kind of keep thinking about those opportunities that you can label as sort of a field trip that doesn't take a lot of prep work, planning ahead, something that you can just jump in the car, utilize your passes. You know, we bought them because we know there's great opportunities there. So make sure you take advantage of them, especially on those rough homeschool days. Number 3, and that's make a game out of what you're doing. If you are drilling math facts, if you are talking about medieval history and you're quizzing the kids, make a game out of it. Take your whiteboard and make a Jeopardy board. Take some bean bags and do like a feed the monster. I've been thinking about doing that with a poster board with our math facts that we would feed the monster with a bean bag. I know Lakeshore Learning has some buzzers that you can use. That would be a really fun idea. Make a game out of what you're learning. It doesn't have to be expensive. If you have trivia cards, that's great, but you can make up your own, or you can go through the text and ask the questions that the kids would see at the end of their chapter. Instead of just sitting there and asking them to write out the answers for every text question, make a game out of it. Make it fun. It can be a competitive game, or it can just be one of those games that they're challenging themselves. Another fun one for drilling math facts is to take the bean bags from multiplication and do toss and catch with your kids and see how far apart you can get without dropping the bean bag or without missing a multiplication problem. If they miss one, they have to step back in. Just make it fun. Number 4, can you change locations? And I think that's what a lot of my tips revolve around, taking a walk, going on a field trip. But even within your home, can you change locations? We do a lot of work at the dining room table, but I know that my kids also like to spread out around the house. Does somebody want to go sit on their bed? Have they earned the privilege of going to sit on their bed? I try to help my kids earn these privileges. If they are doing really well in math, then maybe they don't need to sit with me the entire time. Maybe they can go out and they can sit on the patio, or if the weather's nice, they can be in the backyard, or they can move to the couch. I like to keep us kind of in a general similar area, but I like to give them the freedom that if they're more comfortable in their bed with the cat, a lot of times that seems to be where everybody wants to be lately, is wherever the cat is. Just let them have that change of location. If you can't be outside having a picnic because it's snowing and it's 20 degrees outside, can you lay out a picnic blanket in the middle of the living room and do something a little bit different for your morning time? Change locations. See how that just breathes new life into your homeschool, into your children's attitude, and at least for me, into my own personal attitude as well. And number 5, how can you make your days a little bit more hands-on? I know that for my children's language arts curriculum, there's a lot of questions and there can be a lot of writing. So sometimes I will pull a lesson and I'll say, okay, we're going to do this orally, and then you're going to illustrate something for me. Maybe they're going to get a poster board at Dollar Tree and they're going to illustrate the book that they just finished reading. Maybe they're going to illustrate a geography lesson that we've had. Maybe they have found a science experiment that goes along with our lessons that they want to teach us. Sometimes I will challenge my kids. I'll say, okay, we're going to the library. You're going to find the science experiment that goes along with the topic that we're doing, and you're going to teach us. Now, in the back of my mind, I know that's a little bit of a challenge, so I'm always there to support them and to help them in their decisions and to gather materials, but I want them to read it, to get an understanding of it, so that when it comes to doing the experiment or the project, they're kind of teaching myself and their siblings. So it gives it kind of this fun aspect of just a very hands-on part of the lesson, but they're also being the teacher, which is kind of twofold. It's nice to know they have to know it well enough to be able to teach it to us, and it gives the rest of us a chance to have a very hands-on lesson. I love doing that with science, really with all the across curriculum. But that's one of the things that we do to keep things very hands-on. My kids love to do artwork. If they can illustrate a lesson, that is a huge buy-in for them. If they can do an experiment with a lesson, that's a huge thing for them. If we can pull out a documentary, that just something to break up the monotony of what you do every day, something that's kind of a new, fresh surprise. So it just keeps it fresh, keeps it rolling, keeps it moving along. So that is my 5 tips for a bad homeschool day. Yes, we all have them, so don't be discouraged when you do. I always say a bad day does not make a bad homeschool. We all have them. We're all human, whether it's my attitude or my kids' attitudes or things that just don't work the way they're supposed to. It happens. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to check out The Simple Rugged Path as well as Crazy Busy Fit Mom. Their channels will be linked down below as well as the playlist. Don't forget to hit that subscription button as well, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.